For decades, horror filmmakers across all cultures have been fascinated by the dangerous potential of the telephone.
Hello?
It's easy to see why. You're home alone. It's dark. The phone rings. Do you ever wonder who's on the other end of the line? Could it be a nightmare stalker straight out of urban legend?
Have you checked the children?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Or an angry, tormented soul hell-bent on seeing you die?
7 days.
The telephone is a gate to an unknown world.
Hello?
A gadget that, with a single electronic buzz, can bring any person with a phone line abruptly into your life, with or without invitation.
Is this someone I know?
You're looking mighty sweet.
Seymour!
No, it ain't Seymour. It's me.
Oh my god!
We've seen babysitters tormented on landlines.
Who is this? Hello?
Who is this?
Are the doors locked?
Japanese teens haunted by cell phones.
何これ?
やっぱり殺されたんだよ。おしたこの携帯のメモリーの中から。
Any dead people call? We're not home.
And there's a new story for every stage in between. iMadman is bringing that fear into the 21st century with our newest addition to technological lore, the smartphone.
It's Charlie's phone.
Oh my god, I love it. I've seen it 5 times and it still gets me every time.
iMadman is a horror parody that brings the slasher movies of the 1980s to the new millennium. Our main antagonist is a slasher villain, fresh from 1986, newly escaped from a sanitarium and totally unaware of the technological advances of 2014. His first victim is a babysitter, who, armed only with Apple products, proves his killing methods hopelessly outdated.
Have you checked the children?
Has she? She doesn't need to, thanks to the magic of FaceTime. How about some good old-fashioned Scream-style horror trivia?
Kind of joke?
More of a game, really.
Google gives her all the answers she needs.
Name the remake of the groundbreaking horror movie in which the villain...
Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, Dawn of the Dead, The Hills Have Eyes, Amityville Horror, Last House on the Left, Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, My Bloody Valentine, When a Stranger Calls, Prom Night, Black Christmas, House of Wax, The Fog.
Frustrated, he cuts the phone line, which of course is useless. But in the process, he accidentally unplugs the Wi-Fi. He'll soon learn never to get between a teenager and their internet. To utilize as many slasher cliches as possible, we're going to open with a Halloween-style POV shot as the killer enters the house, sneaks past Heather the babysitter, and breaks into an upstairs office. After the completion of this shot comes one of the most fun elements, the title card. Slasher titles are always hilariously overwrought, and iMadman's will be no exception. Our first post-title shot is another classic, a close-up of the ringing phone. However, to subvert this trope, it will turn out to be the babysitter's cell phone with a retro ringtone. The killer's half of the conversation will be rendered largely in close-ups with moody genre lighting full of shadows. These types of close-ups are another mainstay of the genre, which is largely devoted to showing extreme close-ups of the killer's face, eyes, and mouth.
Call me evil.
The camera around the babysitter is going to be sinuous and snake-like, stalking her just like her tormentor. He will be lit in a more standard and even way to offset the horror of the killer's scenario with a more comic tone. Also, the brightness of her scenes represents the brightness of the screens that she relies upon. The killer's costume is going to be very typical for his time period. A blue workman's jumpsuit that could easily have been stolen off of some mechanic who's now lying dead in a ditch somewhere. And of course he has a mask. Inspired by all the great masks of yore, it will be largely white, and probably an altered version of an existing mask, much like Michael Myers, whose original costume was an inside-out William Shatner mask painted white. The babysitter will be wearing a typical costume for a teenager of today. She won't be showing off too much skin. This isn't an exploitation movie, and I'm not that kind of guy. but it'll be something like a tank top and shorts. Simple, breathable, and easy to run in. The living room where her scene takes place will be your typical living room set. Off-white walls, middle-class furnishings, and the like. The point is to look as utterly normal and mundane as possible. I'll be sure to sprinkle a couple of slasher references in the background to amuse myself though. Keep an eye out. The office the killer hides out in will be modern, but not too much so. Lots of wood, maybe a Rolodex. The dad's an old-fashioned guy. Very suited to the killer's perspective on the world. The outside of the house will only be used in one shot early on, but will be normal and suburban. So that's iMadman. Clever? Funny? Filled to the brim with references to movies that came out before most of you were born. It'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait to show it to you all.
What? That was so fucking stupid. Pure horseshit. The death of horror right here in front of us.
I jumped. It scared me.
A fucking Facebook killer? You're kidding me, right?